You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about the Browns. The quarterbacks, Chris Sims' annual quarterback countdown has started. That's probably my favorite thing that Chris Sims does all year, outside of some of his draft stuff on his Unbuttoned podcast. But the QB countdown, that's his jam that he does every year. And he has officially rated Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. Not exactly. I think there's 43 guys in the list or 44 guys this year. He's went back to the old school way of doing each individual guy instead of in tiers, different tiers, first tier, second tier, that kind of thing. Now it's back to the individual breakdown of each guy. And he did Shedeur Sanders yesterday. The first day of the list. It starts from the bottom down, okay? So when you get to the very bottom, you got number one, right? Or you could say the very bottom, top up, wherever. Shedeur's near the bottom, really, really near the bottom. To start the list, we'll look at that. And LaShawn McCoy, coming out and saying that he has heard himself from people involved with the Browns that Deshaun Watson is the guy. Now, you may be like, well, how would he know? Well, number one, these guys do know players. If you're an ex-player, they know players that are on teams. And Deuce Staley is the running backs coach on this Browns team. And LaShawn, Deuce, Philadelphia Eagles. That's how he knows. So it's getting close. I mean, if you're a Shedeur fan, prepare yourself, because I don't think he's winning this job. And it looks like they're just giving Deshaun the job. That's kind of what it looks like. You know, considering OTAs have just started, I don't know how else I can't call this a competition. It don't seem like it is.
One's a big one.
Yeah.
Because the talking points around this guy are never rational.
Right.
I think this is about the most rational convo you'll hear on number 41, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders, number 41. There's just too much unknown right now, right? There's things I like, but there's things you go, wow, it's crazy raw when you turn back on the film. And you got to go, yeah, he's got to work on that. There's some positive moments. I think the positives for me for Shedeur Sanders is I do think he is an NFL starting quarterback arm. It's not a wow arm, but it's plenty good to make all the big throws and do that. And we saw highlight type throws. You know, I think that's maybe the thing that surprised me is some of the physical backyard plays he made last year in the NFL were the thing I wasn't quite sure. We were like in college, how good of an athlete is he? We don't know really exactly, right? Jackson Dart blew me away with being
okay. And I didn't think he could do the backyard stuff either, but he can. He's a playmaker. But the problem is it's the short to intermediate stuff that you have to be really consistent with. And on a play in and play out basis, I don't know.
Like that's the point. I mean, what have we talked about in Cleveland? They got one of the greatest defensive players in the history of the game. We don't even talk about him in the offseason. They've got a new coach.
Roster.
They got some talented young players and some things on their roster to look at. But this situation has hijacked the situation. And, yeah, you got, of course, Deion, who's a legend and awesome with words and got great charisma, who's hovering over the situation that doesn't help it either. So, yeah, that's where it's tough. But we'll see. The tools are there for Shedeur. Now, can he really take quarterback coaching from a quarterback kind of genius guy and Todd Monken? The offense is going to have a lot to deliver. Can he clean up his throwing mechanics to be a little bit more consistent there? Can he know where to get the ball out of his hands when things collapse and not take bad sacks, right? That's the big thing going forward with Shedeur Sanders. Yeah.
Okay, so thing about it is, the one thing, if you are a Sanders fan, I doubt Deshaun's going to make it 17 games. So are you going to get maybe 2 games or something like that? Yeah, you probably will. But are you going to get the starting job? I think it's starting to look like a wrap already, which is wild. This whole thing just started.
You know, I got a lot of sources and connections over there. You do. Players, you know what I'm saying? They say Deshaun Watson good over there. Ooh. I didn't believe it, though. I'm like, man, he been so goddamn bad. but they say, bro, he rolling right now. They say he rolling right now. You know, I think with the new offense, right, new coach over there, things looking different for him. I want a Shedeur to play because he's younger, he's fresher. Let's see what he has to offer. Yeah. We seen what Deshaun looked like when he left the Texans, but they say he's looking good. They say this year he will look a lot better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but they saying and he's going to start. And if everybody in the chat, y'all want to bet, make some money, I told y'all first, Deshaun Watson's going to start. You know,
and he's going to start. By the way, he's not the first one to say that, but you get the point. Shedeur Sanders to KC Concepcion at OTAs. This a nice pass, but got a little wobble on it. I don't love the wobble. His passes sometimes. Dylan Gabriel to Denzel Boston. Boston looks like a beast, to be honest with you. This guy, man, long. He looks like he reminds me of Tedero McMillan out there, who absolutely killed it with the Panthers. Deshaun Watson. You know, they say he's got the strongest arm on the team. That pass seems like it took a while to get out there. Maybe I'm just going nuts. I don't know. There's me drawing the connection between Shady and Deuce right there. Like I said, Deuce Staley's out there. Just throwing that out. Jason Lloyd of The Athletic believes Deshaun Watson will open the season as the Browns starting quarterback, but raised major questions about how long he can hold on to the job due to health and performance. Quote, Todd has said he'd like to name the starter sooner than later. I don't know when they're officially going to name it. I think Deshaun's going to be the starting quarterback for the team week 1. So this is Cabot, Grossi, Breer, Fowler, Olafusi, Jason Lloyd. That's this guy's name? Yeah, Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. So what are we on? Like LaShawn McCoy? That's 7 different people saying Deshaun Watson's going to start the season. How long does he keep the job? I have no idea. Can he stay healthy? He hasn't for the last however many years. Can he be productive? I do think Shedeur's opportunity is going to come, I thought, for a couple of months now, but Deshaun's going to be the week 1 starter on this football team. Wow. And I said, hey, I'm not a Browns fan. I'm not even a big Shedeur fan, but I've said I'm rooting for the kid, and I'm not rooting for Deshaun. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not. I don't root for scumbags, and I don't want to watch scumbags on a Sunday play the Steelers or any other team. So, I'm sorry. I'd much rather watch Dylan Gabriel than Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I said that. All 5'6" of him. I'm taller than Dylan Gabriel. Actually, you know what? The Dylan Gabriel short, he is short, but he's taller than we think. He's like over 5'11". And I didn't realize, I thought he was like 5'10" and a quarter or something. No, he's over 5'11". He's like getting in scary Russell Wilson kind of territory, and he's just standing around a bunch of tall people, and it looks terrible. And his arm strength ain't great. So that hurts the situation. Bunch of batted balls and shit. Can't see around linemen. But Russell has that problem. Now that Russell can't move like he used to, you're seeing that story. Dylan can't move good to start with. Dylan Gabriel's like old Russell Wilson. He just started playing. Yikes. That's a lot of Deshaun Watson. Boy, I made a video 2 days ago. Deshaun Watson QB1 talk is thick. Ooh, I think they just gave him the job. Honestly, I think they gave him the job. I think I think Todd Monken watched his film and was like, I'm just giving him the job. His old film, his Texan film. Because if he watches that Browns film, how do you keep from launching his ass into space? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.